Find other great podcasts like this one at podmoth.network.
Welcome to the Brutal, Bizarre, and Boozy podcast. I'm Deklan, the son.
And I'm Jane, the mom. This is the podcast where we talk about brutal crimes, bizarre occurrences, and get you drunk with cocktails themed around one of our stories. To lighten things up, we'd like to end our time with a chaser. Please keep in mind some of our stories might be upsetting to young or sensitive ears.
We love hearing from our listeners, so feel free to contact us by email or social media. You can find our contact info in the show notes for this episode. If you'd like to support us through Patreon, you can find us there at Brutal, Bizarre, and Boozy Podcast, or use the link in our show notes.
Hey, Freaky friends! It's Michelle and Melissa from the Freaky Fridays podcast. We are sisters in separate states and love to talk about all kinds of spooky, freaky, and scary shit while drinking and laughing through our fear.
Join us Fridays as we delve into everything from the world of the paranormal to scary movies to creepy stuff we find around the internet. Subscribe to Freaky Fridays wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts.
Sleep tight.
Make sure you leave the lights on.
Freaky Fridays is a proud member of the Podmoth Network. For more awesome pods, check out podmoth.network.
Try again.
Alrighty, Mom. What story are you going to be talking about today?
I am going to be talking about Cee Cee Hoffman and Denali Brehmer. So I talked briefly about this in our happy hour episode for Patreon. So if you guys don't know, yeah, that was our very first happy hour. Yeah. So if anybody, if those of you out there who are listening and go, I don't remember them talking about this, because it was on a Patreon episode. And if you want to hear what we do on our Patreon, then feel free to join us on Patreon and you'll get access to our exclusive happy hour episodes where we just shoot the shit and talk about some current stories that have come up. And so for that episode, I just covered it really quickly. And so I was really curious about what it was all about. So I jumped into it with both feet for this episode, so it's a lot more detailed, but so that's what I'm going to talk about. How about you? What are you going to be telling us about?
I'm going to be talking about the Key Island sea monster.
Key Island sea monster?
Yeah. Wait.
Interesting.
Let me double check on that name. Hook Island. Sorry. Hook Island sea monster.
Island. Okay. Interesting.
And to go with it, I have a cocktail called the Sea Monster, which I thought was pretty fitting, given the name.
I love it when they fit so well.
Yeah, I just looked up Sea Monster, and of course there was a cocktail for it, and it sounded pretty good, so we're going to try that right now. So this cocktail has 1.5 ounces of spiced rum, 2 ounces of grapefruit juice, 2+ ounces of ginger beer, and 1/4 to 1/2 ounce of grenadine. Pour the rum, grapefruit juice, and grenadine into a lowball glass filled with ice. Fill the rest of the glass with the ginger beer. Stir to incorporate.
Very complicated.
Yes, so tough. Okay, let's try this.
Okay. I don't know about this. Oh.
It's okay. I need some lime, I think.
Oh, yeah, that would be good.
Or like some lemon.
The grapefruit is pretty tangy. I used a fresh grapefruit and squeezed it because I didn't want to buy an entire bottle of grapefruit juice and then let it go to waste. So I just bought a grapefruit.
My liquor store sells the like the little bottles, like you get at like an airport.
Oh. Okay, yeah. That would be nice. Yeah,
so I just get that, and I don't use the whole thing that much, so.
Right.
Oh, sorry, Lulu.
What happened to Lulu?
She was sitting right behind me, and I moved my arm to
You
grabbed the
elbowed
drink
her in
and
the face.
bonked her on the head. Oopsies.
Poor baby Lulu. I'm sure she'll survive.
Mwah.
I don't know if she has a lot of brains
Hopefully.
in there to rattle out.
Nah, nah, she's fine. All right, let's talk about the Hook Island sea monster. Hook Island is one of the Whitsunday Islands off the coast of Australia, in the state of Queensland. The island is almost uninhabited, quite rugged, and almost completely contained within a section of the Whitsunday Island National Park. The island has two prominent geographical features on the southern side of Hook Island: the Nara and the Makana. I'm gonna redo that. The Nara and the Makana inlets, two fjord-like recesses that are used as anchorages for the Whitsunday tourist fleet. So they have like a bunch of boats, and since these are like pretty much uninhabited, there's a bunch of people that want to go check these islands out because it's like a bunch of wild animals and
Yeah.
jungles and stuff like that.
Do you know how big the island is?
It's
Okay.
it's looks like it's a decent sized island, like not Hawaii sized, but like
Mm-hmm.
you could see the whole island from like a boat.
Okay.
The island's northern coast is noted for its colorful underwater coral growths to which snorkeling and diving enthusiasts are attracted. So it's got like a pretty cool coral reef right on the coast, and a lot of people go there to snorkel and just check out fish and the coral and stuff like that.
Well, it's funny that this is your story because my chaser has to do with coral reefs.
Oh,
Little
interesting.
spoiler. Yeah, so cool.
In 1964, Robert Serrec was on vacation with his family and one of his best friends. After hearing about how pretty Hook Island is, Robert rounded up his wife and kids, hopped on a small tourist boat heading to the island. Their plan was to walk around the island, do some snorkeling a little bit later on in the day, and just hang out on the beach and just kind of explore.
Yeah, sounds like heaven to me. I would love that.
Yeah, that sounds really fun. Just having like an own private island you could just go to for a day.
Yeah.
That sounds so
I would
nice.
love that.
Robert was an amateur photographer and enjoyed tinkering with his camera and capturing memories of his family and their travels. But something would change his mind about snorkeling that day.
Uh-oh.
As the boat approached the island, Robert noticed something strange in the water. He raced to his belongings and grabbed his trusty camera, and what he saw would make waves around the globe. In the water was about an 80 to 90 foot long tadpole-esque creature, and it approached
Ew.
the ship with its mouth wide open. So it was like, you know how tadpoles have that big head and just like a
Yeah.
long skinny tail that trails off?
Yeah.
So that's what it looked like. And there's pictures of this online. It's super creepy looking.
Okay.
If you just look up Hook Island sea monster, it'll come up.
All right, I'm going to go look.
Its head was about 4 feet wide and 4 feet like high, I guess. I don't
Okay.
like it had a
Ew.
long tail with no visible fins, and its skin was a dull brown or black color with pale green eyes. And like in one of the pictures, like when it's really close to the boat, you can kind of see the eyes. Ugh, it's so
Ugh.
gross. I don't like it.
I don't like it either. I'm looking at it now, and it is yuck.
Yeah, it's freaky.
Ooh.
There was no parasites or on its shark-like skin. So you know how like whales and other big animals, they'll have like little sucker
Yeah.
fishes on them or something,
Yep.
or like have some little trailers. This one didn't
Yeah.
have any of that. After the head of the creature started a long snake-like tail that was about 2 feet thick and had 1 foot wide brown bands around its tail. So like Every couple of
It
feet
was
was a little
striped.
white, like a brown band. Yeah.
Ugh.
The creature swam up to the ship before getting startled and swimming away. As it left the boat, Robert could see there was a gash in its tail that resembled a boat propeller. So it was kind of like
Mm.
swimming a little weird, and he thought it was injured somehow. It could have been like bitten or something, or I don't know.
Yeah.
He just noticed that it was injured.
I feel bad now because I don't want it to get injured, but at the same time, it looks fucking
It's
creepy.
tearing. It's terrifying. Yeah, I
Ugh.
don't know what it is. It's so gross. As
I
it
know
swam
you
away, it
love
passed under. Huh?
I know you love being in the ocean, but could you imagine snorkeling and looking up and seeing that come at you?
No, thanks. That's
Yeah,
so
I'd never
scary.
get in the ocean again.
As it swam away, it passed under a small canoe, and its head was as like large enough to swallow the canoe. It was like just as wide as the canoe was. It was super
Oh,
creepy.
I really don't like
While it
that.
hasn't while it hasn't been since, or while it hasn't been seen since, many people are too afraid to swim near Hook Island.
Yeah.
I would be. I remember, like, I never saw a sea creature, but I was fishing up in Alaska once, and we were halibut fishing, which is pretty big fish. And we just see one of the fishing poles dip down like it got hit by something big. So we
Mm-hmm.
rushed over, and the line was like completely snapped, and right under the boat, like I could see there was probably like 8 to 10 foot long shark underneath that just like snapped our line.
No
Yeah,
way.
like directly under the boat. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna go sit in the cabin for a minute. Let this thing go away. It's scary. I
Just
don't
in
like that
case,
stuff.
just in case you accidentally fall overboard into the mouth of the shark.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, no thanks.
you're gonna go inside the cabin so that if you fall down, you're not falling out of the boat.
Well, we were out like pretty far, and so the waves were pretty rocky, and
Yeah,
it's a possibility. Yeah.
yeah, I get it. That's why I don't go on those deep sea fishing things because I get so seasick, and
It was
that's not
pretty fun
fun.
though. Huh.
Ugh. Plus, I don't eat fish, so I don't want to go
True.
out and
Not really
torture
worth it for
myself.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So nobody's seen this thing since then?
Mm-mm. He got like 3 pretty good pictures of it, and then it swam away. I mean, I think it's a grouper eel. There's like a fish that I know of that, oh yeah, a grouper eel. Those things are creepy, but they're like deep sea.
Okay, now I have to look up a
Pelican eel?
grouper eel. Oh, okay.
That's
I think that's what it was. Like if you look up grouper eel, the thing looks just like.
it's
Ooh.
about a meter though, so it could be a giant
Oh,
one.
that says gulper eel.
Oh
I
yeah,
don't know
gulper
what.
eel. Sorry.
Oh,
They're gross looking though.
they're
Those are creepy.
gross.
That's
I
what
don't.
I imagine it looked like though. Like
Yeah,
the long tail, the big ass head and mouth. Like it could just be
yeah,
a giant version of that is usually
yeah.
deep sea or something
Oh, I'm not a
freaky.
fan. I don't want to see that when I'm in the ocean. No, thank you. I don't
No,
have a
thank you.
particular reason to not like the ocean, but if I saw that near me, I would definitely stop liking the ocean.
Oh,
Ugh.
just Google popped up a weird um animal list when I looked that one up, and there's something called a vampire squid.
Oh, of course, that vampire squid.
Uses bioluminescence organs to thrive in parts of the ocean.
No, thanks. I'm good without any of those things being near me.
Yeah, that's creepy.
Agreed.
Okay, let's hear about your story.
Okay, so my story, again, it's about Denali Brehmer, and she's the bad guy. We'll just say that much. Her victim was Cynthia Rose Hoffman, who went by the name Cee Cee. Her friends and family called her Cee Cee. She was born on October 8th, 1999 in Anchorage, Alaska. So we're back to talking about Alaska. Her parents were Timothy and Barbara Hoffman. She had a large family with 4 sisters and 3 brothers. Her dad owned a handyman business, and she enjoyed working alongside him, helping him with jobs. Cee Cee was described as developmentally delayed. That was just a term that was in multiple sources, but there wasn't anything specific in those sources that said how she was delayed or like what presentation or anything. But it was definitely something that was noted numerous times. And regardless of any of that, the bad things that happened to her were ridiculous and her just should not have happened. But she had a lot of close friends, and one of those friends was Denali Brehmer. I say friends with air quotes because you are going to learn very soon that Denali Brehmer was not her friend at all. She was quite the opposite. The 2 girls met while in high school together. Cee Cee often posted pics of on social media of the 2 together, even calling Brehmer her best friend. The 2 girls spent a lot of time together, but Brehmer had other friends as well. In 2019, when Brehmer was 18, she started an online relationship with a man she knew as Tyler. Brehmer thought Tyler was a millionaire from Kansas. What millionaire from Kansas is looking for an online girlfriend in Alaska? I don't know, but that's what she thought. In reality, this millionaire Tyler was 21-year-old Darren Schilmiller from Indiana, not Kansas. And he was not.
Scamming her.
Yes, he was not a millionaire. I don't know what his goal of this whole scam was, but apparently he had one. He was not a millionaire from Kansas. He was just a young man who lived in the basement of his grandfather's home. So, not a millionaire, doesn't even live in his own apartment, house, nothing.
He says.
Yeah. He's so icky. Former classmates of Schilmiller described him as shy and more likely to be bullied by others than to do any bullying himself. Maybe that's why he posed as someone else and catfished Brehmer. But to say that he catfished her makes it sound like she is a victim. So I don't want to use that term. And it was in all the sources like, oh, yes, he catfished her and catfishing thing went wrong and all this catfish stuff. Okay, sure. She thought he was somebody else. But it doesn't mean that you should do the shit that she did. So again, my opinion, she's not a victim whatsoever because she bought his story, whatever. She could have chosen not to. But Brehmer and Schilmiller's online relationship had even grown to the stages saying they loved each other. Aww. In early to mid-May, Schilmiller and Brehmer started discussing plans to murder someone. Because, when you say I love you, the next thing you do is plan a murder together.
Wow, that is, yeah. They skipped right over over a couple milestones. Just straight to murder someone.
Yeah, and I mean the whole thing, I mean we'll talk about it more, but like it's just a ridiculous idea. He offered Brehmer a payday that she felt like she couldn't refuse because he told her that he would pay her $9 million to rape and murder someone, and he wanted proof of the acts in the forms of pictures and video. So she was to do these things and send
Jesus
him
Christ.
the receipts, if you will, so that she could make $9 million.
God damn. Yeah, you gotta be real fucking dumb to fall for that, I feel.
Right. Thinking
Wait,
she
when
was
did
in
you
for
say this was?
2019. So this was
Okay, so
fairly,
FaceTime was around. I was gonna say, like, you
yeah,
never FaceTime? Like, what?
no.
That's so
And
dumb.
this, yeah, it's real dumb. Like, it just keeps getting more dumb. Thinking she was in for a huge financial win, she recruited several of her other teenage friends, teenaged, like they're teenagers, because she needed help, and she targeted her quote unquote best friend, Cee Cee. Again, this
Jesus.
guy doesn't even know Cee Cee, doesn't know anything about who the victim is, nothing. So they just pick a
Just a
random
random
person.
fucking person. Ugh,
Yeah.
God damn.
So because she was going to get this huge payday of money, she asked her friends to help her, and they were going to split some of the money for this horrific thing that they did. On June 2nd, 2019, Brehmer, her friend 16-year-old Caden McIntosh, another friend 19-year-old Caleb Leland, and two other unnamed juveniles picked up Cee Cee. The identities of the unnamed children have not been released due to their ages at the time of the murder, but they were also charged in the crime. But because they were kids, they didn't have to. I mean,
Had their identity hidden for legal
right.
reasons. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. The group told Cee Cee they were going on a hike. They went to an area about 30 miles away, about 30 minutes away from Anchorage, known as Thunderbird Falls. There, they bound Cee Cee's hands with duct tape and covered her mouth with tape as well. McIntosh then shot Cee Cee in the head, and the group placed her body in nearby Eklutna River. Brehmer then texted Cee Cee's family saying that they dropped her off at a park in Anchorage because, she's got to cover some bases. Horrible person. Later that day, Cee Cee's dad, Timothy, became worried when Cee Cee didn't come home. He was expecting her because he owed her money for a job that she had recently helped him with. And when she didn't answer her phone, his fears escalated. He started driving through town looking for her, but didn't find her. He also reported her missing to the police. Cee Cee's dad stayed in touch with Brehmer, again, her quote-unquote best friend, who assured him Cee Cee's fine and she's going to come home soon, I'm sure of it. When in fact, she knew that wasn't going to happen.
You know where? Yeah. That's fucked up.
Monster. At the time of Cee Cee's disappearance, Brehmer was interviewed by law enforcement. She had a wild story, which she claimed that the group decided to take funny pictures like they'd been kidnapped. Because that's what people do, I guess. No, I've never done that.
Me either.
No. She said that Cee Cee had duct tape placed around her wrists and ankles and across her mouth, which caused her to get upset and panic. But again, it was all just a joke. Brehmer claimed that Cee Cee started threatening the group that she was going to tell the police that they had kidnapped and sexually assaulted her. The ridiculous story continued, and at this point is when McIntosh took his gun that Brehmer had brought with them, and he shot Cee Cee in the head before pushing her into the river. That was the big story. Initially, McIntosh claimed that he blacked out and didn't remember shooting Cee Cee. 2 days after Cee Cee was murdered, Brehmer led police to her body. Brehmer, Schilmiller, McIntosh, and Leland were all charged with first-degree murder, first-degree conspiracy to commit murder, second-degree murder, as well as other charges. Police confiscated Brehmer's phone, where they found evidence of not only Cee Cee's murder, but other crimes as well. Because again, her millionaire boyfriend said, I want you to do some stuff. So she did it.
Jesus.
When the realization finally hit her, she told police that her online boyfriend had solicited not only the murder, but other crimes as well. Schilmiller also wanted Brehmer to sexually assault juveniles and send him videos of the assaults. And it wasn't bad enough that he wanted her to do this. He had ages that he specified for her.
Jesus.
He
This sick
wanted
fucker.
one of the victims to be around 8 years old, while the other victim should be around 15. Yeah, it's
Oh, God.
gross as, yeah.
Yeah, that's disgusting.
Brehmer admitted that she completed these acts and sent Schilmiller the videos. Due to the further crimes, the assault crimes against the juveniles, Brehmer and Schilmiller were also charged with multiple counts related to production and distribution of child pornography. During the investigation, it was discovered that Schilmiller had a habit of meeting women online under false names, then requesting inappropriate pictures of children's, oh, this is going to make me sick, children and infants from the women. So he would ask for, I'm not going into any more detail. He would ask for some stuff, and some of the people that he contacted and it was asking for these things said, you're a fucking weirdo. Pound sand.
I would call the police.
Yeah.
Hey, I got this guy asking for pictures of kids.
Yeah. In January 2024, Schilmiller was sentenced to 99 years for Cee Cee's murder. A month later, Brehmer was sentenced to the same 99 years. At the time of recording this, both McIntosh and Leland's cases are still pending for sentencing. Brehmer and Schilmiller both have pleaded guilty on the child pornography charges, but at this time, only Brehmer has received sentencing for that, and that was for 30 years. So she's got 99 years for the murder and 30 years for the child porn.
Jesus.
Yeah. These people were gross. Just nasty.
I just don't understand how you could let someone convince you to do that online. Like, what the fuck?
Right. Online, in person, doesn't matter. When do you go, no, thank you. You're a weirdo. Go
Not
away.
even like a security deposit. Like, prove that you're a millionaire. Give me a little bit right now.
I'll give you a down payment for the murder that I want you to commit and the gross other things. It's just awful. Just terrible.
Yeah. That's disgusting.
Let's change our palette. Give me a chaser that's not disgusting.
So, my roommate got an electric smoker for Christmas. Or not an electric smoker, an indoor smoker.
Oh.
Yeah, and we tried it out yesterday.
What'd you make?
We made smoked brats, and I made like a cream cheese dip with jalapenos, onions, and bacon in it.
That sounds
amazing. We smoked on applewood. It was so good. We were kind of worried because those outlets that they put next to sinks that have the reset thing, it kept tripping
GFI.
that. And so when we plugged it into the one that didn't have it, it worked completely fine.
Well, yeah. That makes me nervous that maybe you shouldn't be using it inside your apartment. Did it make it
Yeah,
smoky at all?
there was just like a little smell, but the room wasn't smoky. No smoke alarms went off
Huh.
or anything.
Oh, well, that's good. I was wondering that.
Yeah. No,
Well,
it
that sounds
turned out pretty
yummy.
good. We smoked them for 2 hours, and we're gonna
Did
try some
you
salmon today.
beer like because brats are oftentimes cooked in like a beer before they're seared? Did you like smoke them in a liquid?
We
No,
just
you just
smoked
smoked
them.
them.
The thing's only the size of like a crock pot, so
Yeah.
you can't fit too much stuff in there. We just smoked them in the smoke.
I've never seen an indoor smoker, but I'm curious how it doesn't like cause so much smoke that your apartment would be filled with it.
It's got like a rubber seal, so
Oh,
there's just y- like a slow cooker, how like a little bit of steam comes out. That's about
yeah.
the smoke. So if you just open
Oh,
up the windows, it pushes all the smoke out. And then like
nice.
you got a little smell of applewood in the air. It's not
Yeah,
crazy though.
that's fun. Would you dip into the dip? Did you just use like
Ritz
Ruffles or
crackers, and then I
Ritz?
put some
Nice.
on the bun of the brat.
Oh, was that
It was
delicious?
pretty good. It was pretty good.
That
And they were
sounds
cheddar
yummy.
brats too.
I love those.
They're really
I
good.
love cheese and a dog of any kind.
All
Mm,
right, what's your
I like
chaser?
that. My chaser is an article that I found on the Good News Network. We were talking about coral reefs earlier in
Hmm.
your story. And so I just thought it was super cool that we matched on stories unexpectedly. Um, but they have discovered that broadcasting audio sounds from healthy reefs can help rehabilitate coral reefs that have been degraded or damaged. So, coral reefs have a lot of other animals that, fish and snails and whatever that live around them and in them and
Hmm.
stuff like that. And so they went to healthy reefs and they recorded the sounds. And then they went to unhealthy reefs and played those healthy reef sounds on underwater speakers. And it encouraged coral reef larvae to settle in and around the reefs that had been damaged. So the
Oh, that's cool.
larvae would know, oh, this is a healthy reef, so I can live here and stay here. And yeah, they're finding that it's happened multiple times where they find the larvae settling in on the damaged reef so they can help rehabilitate it and bring it back from being damaged. I thought that was super cool.
That is really cool.
Yeah,
I
I didn't.
think I saw that on Instagram the other day, but I didn't
Oh,
look
really?
into it that much. Yeah,
Oh,
that's super cool.
yeah, I liked it. I thought it was interesting.
Well, I'm not gonna say I enjoyed hearing that story of yours, but
Right.
it was nice talking to you.
It was nice talking to you as well.
Yeah. All right, love you.
Love you. Bye.
Bye.
Hey, friends. Thank you for supporting our podcast. Please share our show with your brutal and bizarre friends. Give us a boozy follow on your favorite podcast platform. If you're feeling extra generous, we'd appreciate a 5-star rating or review as well. But maybe do that sober so all the letters are in the right place.
You can find all our contact information in the show notes. We love hearing from you, and if you're interested in helping us stock the bar for our future boozy episodes, you can find our Patreon link in the show notes as well.